And next, the middle paragraph is, in essence, this conjunction of the body and mind is impermanent. So do not count on it as your own. And of course, this is normally we count, and my body, my speech. And it is like kind of belong the mind. It looks like a kind of the united, mixed body looks like mind, mind looks like body, this kind of. But it's like this is not really truth, so do not count on it as your own. It is only on a loan we borrowed from parents, and particularly from the 4 elements. And therefore, renting things, the renting apartment of the human bodies, and then this owner of this body and say, sorry, you stayed there long times. Did you pay the properly to paid? Oh yes, I paid the food, clothes, and everything. But now you need to go out to check outside. And like this, as we alone, like this, our body, it is we cannot account on it as our own position of the things. And like this, we can do say, my body is impermanent. This is my loan. I loaned from the 4 element or from parents, doesn't matter. But at the moment, I'm living in this launch house or the house, and then I need to be enjoyed. I need to use properly something in the according in this body speech. Maybe we can make the meaningful life. Of course, we can also make the awful, like kind of criminal, or the like completely like full of the negative deeds. We can do that. But now is to be aware of this precious human body, and with these precious human bodies, we should to be some meaningful for the mind in the future or in the coming life. And also all the roads and the paths are the impermanent. Then what we need to do is, so whenever you are the working anyway, died, your step towards to the Dharma City. And like a kind of okay, I'm going, where am I going? I'm going to the direction of the Dharma. And that means, of course, there's a kind of direction or the land of Dharma, the difficult, but what you can to make the direction of the Dharma. And it's like a kind of when you are working and everything is impermanent. I need to develop my compassion. I need to maintain my nature awarenesses, primordial awarenesses. And you are like, there's doing something, it's like positive things. That is like towards to Dharma. Each step is like you developing the authentic Dharma and authentic way to doing it this. This is the like kind of towards to the Dharma. As it says in the condensed transcendent wisdoms, and this sutta says, if you work looking mindful 1 yak's length in front of you, your mind will not be confused. For example, when you take the individual liberation vows, or maybe some great practitioners, they are not like kind of looking on like this. And because it's like do like this, it's making confused to the mind. More mindfulness, more with vigilant, and to like a little bit like short length, and to what there's to mindfulness in the impermanent. And there's also road is impermanent, body is impermanent, and working is impermanent. And I need to do some benefit for the impermanent. And I'm going to towards to the authentic Dharma. And if we do like this, then it's really mind is not confused. Mind is all the time is on the positive. That is the necessaries. Wherever you are, all the places are impermanent. So keep the pure Buddha field in the mind. Wherever we be, we never to say, there is ugly, there is a natural disaster, everybody is not kind, and look at the pollution, and also it's like a kind of there a lot of garbage, and this is some ugly, dirty. If we do like this concern, then we make it our mind is dirty. We make it our mind is a pollution. Maybe externally, we just before post, we're talking about appearance is not truly existence. And we are like our inner mind, perceive of the mind is dualistically to judge. And there's no existence of the appearances to say the good, the bad, ugly, unugly, and like this. And then these tendencies bring into our mind, and then it's like making mind dirty. And to make the mind clean, why not? To practice pure perceptions. And it's like to think, whatever I see, oh, surely it is the Buddha, Bodhisattvas. This is the pure land. Pure land is, sometimes it is pure land, it's really truth. If we honestly to talk in our land, it's really pure land. There are such gold, silver, diamond, flower, trees, meadows, like also lakes, rocky, snow mountains. So pure land, absolutely pure land. But we are like kind of our own problems. Why you call the pure land ugly? There's natural disaster. There are a lot of toilet. And then it's like concerning the toilet, the mind is become the toilet. Then anger, hatred, jealousy, these kind of disturbing emotions all the time is smelling. That is not very nice. And in this perspective, really to practice pure perception as much. I'm saying sometimes in our land it's inconceivable. And maybe it's like even in the relatively, when we go to the moon, when we go to the Mars, when we go to another planet, and maybe only desert, no water, no grass, nothing. And this is the hell, it is like. But not here, it's like when we look, wow, it's making so fantastic. There's such a natural landscapes, forest, and flowers. Inside there's such nice wild animals. They are jumping, playing, and this is wonderful, elegant. Many different birds. They are like, sometimes also they speak human language. And you know, in the near Dharma City, there's birds, very nice birds. Every morning say, bonjour. Where these birds learn the human language. Have you heard that? And like this kind of birds fly in the morning when you go outside, they singing. Where they are come from. Maybe this is our like habitual patterns. Maybe it's luckily we done some in the past good persons. We can to hear this kind of nice sound. Maybe if we haven't got good tendencies, when you hear this, maybe a sound is a very lamentation sound, ugly, and maybe bad sound. But we can to hear, maybe it's like we perceive our mind is wonderful, nice. It is a pure land. And to say the good, pure land, good, pure land, good, pure land, maybe everything's good. Everything is become the pure land. If you say bad, ugly, bad, ugly, then everything's included our own self has become ugly, bad. And like this, is everything is depends the mind. In the same, I think is the condensed transcendent wisdom. This sutta says, it's like kind of everything depends the circumstances, but entirely depends the mind. So, and mind is happy, everything is happy, mind is okay, everything is okay, mind is not okay, everything is not okay. Even we could be in the pure land, it's not okay, because mind is not okay. Like this, maybe we can purify practice the Buddha filled the mind. Food, drink, and whatever you enjoy are the impermanent. So fade on the profound concentrations. And also food, drink, these things is like sometimes is according to the desire attachment. I want this flat, delicious, nurturing, and I want to eat this and that, but never ever have the satisfactions. All the time is carrying the dissatisfaction. A little bit there is a kind of problem, the food and drink, because then our faces become very, very bizarre. Like become the elastic, you know. Nobody is pulling the, but it's you pulling yourself. It's ugly elastic, yes. And then it's like this. Also, Lopans doing that sometimes. These two teachers also do. If there's, oh guys, put the foods. But now we don't depend on this contaminated food. Only the concentrated, you know, it's the like kind of the like profound, feed on a profound concentration samadhi food. And maybe that is, this food is maybe is a delicious, natural, it is like kind of very much to making the strong of the mind. That is the most. Sleep in the impermanent. So while you are asleep, purified sleepless delusion into the clearly luminosities or light. For example, how to do this is according to the Maria Luisa's questions. And like this, maybe if you really want to do, before you sleep, you lack mindfulness, and you go to sleep, it's like this. This is Buddha's parinirvana's position, and you're sitting like this while you meditate. It is like a kind of you praying to your deity, or your like kind of the peerless, your own spiritual friend, and then it's how you coming to you. It is like not a kind of to coming to you to make sex. Nothing, okay? They don't think about that. And coming to you and to making the purified. And then it's how to come into you, not different door, okay? It's you have a very special door in the bath. Oh, come on. The more you show the different doors, it's not good. Don't make a mistake. Here is the central channel doors. You just open, it's like this. You should say, this is no need to, I have different doors, and maybe your spiritual friend, peerless teacher said, huh? And you need to open the central door, okay? Central channels. Then it's coming through, and your heart is the red lotus. This red lotus, and then it dissolved into the lotus, and you close it. And then this teacher's mind or the deity's mind, your mind is like kind of luminosity. And constantly to constant that, then you try to sleep. Maybe it's like maintain in these visualizations, and sometimes you can to recognize night, and it's a kind of the purified by the luminosity. Then in the morning, if someone says like make a sound, when you wake up, alarm clock, you think there is a daka and dakiness, you know, provoked me from the sleepy of the ignorant. And then you choose to get very gently to sit in your bed like this. And then you like kind of like through your devotions and the faiths and like kind of very strongly like this. And then it's a lotus, it's automatically red lotus, it's blossoms. And then is from this, your mind and luminosity representative, the teachers going up and to truth this, and to sit on the both of your head, and to say, please remind, to sit there, to remind all days, what am I doing things. This is like kind of evidence, and like kind of the support of your like proof these things. Then this is like during the day, night, this is a simple period, the night yoga, okay? But of course there's a different methods. This is like kind of one part of you can to do like this. This if you do, then it's diluted into the purified colorly light. And that is the most important. And then as wealth, if you have it is impermanent. So strive for the 7 noble riches. Generally, all the riches are the very much impermanent. Money, house, car, possessions, food, clothes, everything is impermanent. And maybe it's like do not need to rely on it. Cannot rely on, because everything is impermanent, changeable. And there is some rich, is a very important rich. This is called the 7 noble riches. There's strive to have these 7 like noble riches. And first one is what? It is the generosity. This is the very, very important. Generosity, normally, it is not a kind of, religious. Generosity, worldly, it is very, very important to need the generosity. And then it's like, second is the discipline. And discipline is very important to have the self-moral discipline. And also it's like what you talk, what you are doing, what you are like thinking. We need moral discipline, self-discipline. We don't need to follow up someone's discipline, but it's like to have like this. And also I think it's a little bit, the order is maybe not correct, but I want to say slowly, okay? And then it's a discipline. Maybe, and then it's like, I can say, third one is you need the faith, trust, devotion. And this is also very, very, very important. For example, if we don't trust, we haven't got any faith into ourselves, we haven't got any trust or the faith into the others, how we can to be together, how we can to rely on. In this perspective, of course, principally to have faith, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, but also it's like truthful, and to have the faith, devotion through the causalities. In this like inevitable of the causalities is very, very important, and like this to faith. And then is and also we need fourth one is, I think it's like you need to listen to the study things. And it's very, very much, very important. As much as you could to listen, study. And study means it's like to really what you study. And how do you say, it's like to contemplate to them, and then to meditate, to more clarify it. If you study and you contemplate and you is like kind of more analyze to them, then your mind is like kind of the liberation here. Through the study and making mind is the liberation. That is the great richness, very much richness here. And then it's like shame here. And like kind of the shameness or shame. This means it's like a kind of other's perspective. You should to have the shame. Why? Because if I'm say like this, if I'm doing like this, maybe it is like something, these things, maybe in the other's perspective, it is very shame. It's like embarrassed things. I don't want to kill, I don't want to steal, I don't want to act in very, very strange way. And that perspective is in the other's perspective, I'm very much to shame. Then it's like the last one is like, how do you call it? I forgot it. it's like a kind of the reliable. I forgot this name, last one, okay, seventh one is, but it's more reliable. If I'm, no, sixth one is the shame. Okay, sixth one's correct, you are six. And this is like more reliable, I forgot, but reliable means it's like, this is your perspective. Because if I'm not reliable, if I'm not, it's like truthful, if I'm doing, it's also is like part of the shame. In this case, you have something yourself to take care. And then it's the last one is the wisdom. What? Yes, wisdom. Okay, this is like wisdom, discriminative wisdom, or wisdom is like to have that. Means it's like whatever you do things is like very, very clearly, precise, and also like kind of emphasize these things. And then the seventh one is the wisdoms. And like this, if you want to memorize, you know, in the Rinzun Dupa, there's one Guru Rinpoche prayers. They're inside the Teton Saram Tongla Kambato, to be due to Trail Ngosahi, Shira Person Sobonodo. The sixth one is embarrassed. Maybe more is wonderful, embarrassed. And shame and embarrassed. Okay, the embarrassed, if you do some funny things, is very much embarrassed. Someone hasn't got shame, someone hasn't got any embarrassed feeling, then it's horrible. It's like, you know, yaknyua. Huh? Yes. Then it becomes yakshit. There's no shame, there's no embarrassment. Yes? Both of them, if shame means it's like, if I'm do like this, others are shame. Oh, look, I'm shame for you. Yes? It's like this. And also, it's like you do embarrassing things. Is if you do some funny, like kind of unkind, like do you do, are you not embarrassed? We say, like this. Take care. Ha 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 ha. What is ha ha ha? And study the seven noble of the rich. And like this. Oh, am I? It's too late? No. It's okay. And then it's like the loved ones, friend and family are the impermanent. So in a solitary place arose the desire for the liberation. It is very important. And of course, your loved one is do not holding and clinging. And it's like jealous and to want to control and thinking about you are the forever mine. And it's like, I need to control the you. Not like this. And also friends, families, everything is impermanent. When we be together like this, we need to taking care, look after them, and support to them by the compassion, kindness, never ever give harsh word, never ever give any kind of the ugly words, and to kind. Then is you a greater person. Each moment you are hurting, you are showing, you are aware of everything. Very unkindness. Then it's which kind of you are the human beings. Very sorry, but what kind of the you are lover ones? Which kind of you are friend? Which kind of you are the families? Each moment you are kind of showing the ugly things, aggressive, and very much complain, and very much self-oriented, these things, they are impermanent. When we be together, as much as you can to take care to them, the most important, best friend, best lover, best area is the solitary place. And when we be there is that we have eager desire to be the liberation is yourself. And that is very good, because if you are liberated, maybe you can to help your family, you can to help the friend, you can to help more loved one. That is necessary. Higher rank and celebrity in impermanent. So always take a low positions. It's wonderful. And this kind of, oh, I want to be the top of this person. Maybe I want to better than you. I'm intelligent. I'm educated. I'm civilizations. I'm speaking Luxembourg, useless. And to be take the low lower positions, to be very kind and very nice. And everybody is love, everybody is respect them. This is, take the lower position or the profile. It's wonderful. Someone is very intelligent, very beautiful, very handsome, very intelligent. And when it's like a kind of ask something, help or teach everything, they can do everything, but very humble, very kind. That is the most important. Maybe this is is a noble rich. But it's like a kind of that looking the very high position and thinking about self is I am superior, I'm something else. Then it's like it's not superior. It is it's like kind of ugly. Therefore, low position, thinking about the liberation, thinking about the 7 noble riches, thinking about the delusion to purified into the luminosities. Like this, speech is impermanent, so inspire yourself to recite the mantra and prayers. It is a wonderful, it's like this. Speech is all the time doing the negative things, collect the negative, gossip, harsh word, unpleasant, these things. But to stop that, that is impermanent. I need to do something, recite the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. I can recite the praise. Rinpoche May I realize it to nature if quickly, if I be very happy and like this. Therefore, it's like this. Faith and desire, I don't know, just for the liberation are the impermanent. So strive to make your commitment unshakable, for liberation, desire for liberation. Okay, this is different, this Bemakara translations. Sometimes this translate the renunciation, sometimes they translate to be free from samsara. Here is like desire for the liberation. This is in Injong. And also it's like faith is unstable, very much impermanent. Today maybe you have such a faith, devotion to your spiritual friend, maybe to the Buddha and Bodhisattvas, and certainly maybe tomorrow you changed, your faith, devotions completely fade away, gone, and then you hate it, and nothing there is it. And also desire for the liberation says, I want to be liberated from the samsara. Very much you have wanted to study Dharma, want to be liberation today or but also taking care that it is impermanent. Tomorrow you change your mind, maybe you become like kind of the evil criminal. It's like kind of the same person. Therefore, this kind of the idea is not really permanent, impermanent. So strive, make your commitment unshakable. It is what you wanted. I want to make the liberation. I want to do something benefit for impermanent, benefit for sentient beings. This kind of your commitment is unmovable, unshakable, like this kind of thing. Ideas and thoughts are the impermanent, so work on developing a good nature. And this is very, very important. Whatever we have the ideas, like the ideas, I want to be like this, I want to be like this, and also their different thoughts are the impermanent. Work on the developing the good nature, good nature. All our movement, everything is doing things we are imitating. We are looks like a gorilla. You know, gorillas is if humans doing something, and gorillas very good imitating too. And like this, once we born, how to cook, how to speak, how to do, how to work, everything is we are imitating. And when we are imitating, you imitate very well, and you become a good person. Now we are adult, we are not child mind anymore. And in this perspective, we need to look at in the human societies. Who it is the best, which is the nature good characteristics. This person is a very kind, generosity, and disciplined, and all this fantastic. Why not? I want to imitate it. Most Buddhist practitioners, they are imitating Buddha and Bodhisattvas. What Bodhisattvas did, what Bodhisattvas done, what Bodhisattvas activities. I want to like this. I want to also achieve same as them. Then there's self-development. It's fantastic, very nice, It is like to really to develop the nature of the reality. The nature of the reality. No, this is not this one. It's developing the good natures. This good nature is not really nature of but some good nature characteristics. It means it's the relatively, there's some nature characteristics. For example, someone's very kind, someone's aggressive, someone very nervous, someone's very relaxed, someone's all the time crying, sometimes never cry, someone is very emotional. This kind of we call in the relative to nature characteristics. Then it's like someone's good nature means very much gentle, generosity, and also very trustworthy, and also it's like very much kind of there is like diligently to have, they have shame, embarrassed, wisdom, everything. And this kind of person, when we see, we need to study. But then it's also like idea, thoughts is become very good. Sometimes our idea, thoughts is like to follow. It is very much impermanent and it's to change. Today looks like good, tomorrow we don't know. Today is very bad, but tomorrow we don't know because everything is changed. Each moment, each like kind of the moment or the point to develop to imitating the good nature's persons, then we become the good. Meditative experience and realization are the impermanent. So go on until you reach the point where everything dissolves in the nature of the realities. And also it's like when you practice Dharma and really meditate on, there's such experience, meditative experience. And says like when you meditate, like Shuni said. Shuni is like there's a Shuni characteristic, Shuni, like the karma budding, no characteristics, the karma budding said. And the characteristic, the karma buddings, you visualize some deity, you visualize a letter, you visualize some flower, these things. You preserve into your mind, meditate on long times, and then later you can just take away this picture, and then you just to meditate on it vividly in pictures inside, and then these pictures are coming out in the front of you, and sometimes in the space, and the some is like so let's become what you visualize it. And like, for example, if you visualize the form of the Guru Rinpoche or the Buddha, and then certainly even if you look at the house, you look at the mandala, when you look at the trees, everything has become these pictures. And then this picture there is a kind of the movement, talking, and look like this. And this is a kind of the experience of the meditative experience. But this experience, there's no desire, no clinging. Maybe you more develop that. Maybe then it's a final, there's a kind of the greater dissolution. So this is the Shuni without characteristics, dissolved into the, probably it's like the absolute, the absolute nature of the realities, dissolved. At that times, maybe you are not preserved, nothing, and your mind is very special. Your mind is like a kind of this natural, like same as the nature of the realities. And then you don't need to any kind of the visualize meditation. With the best meditation is without meditation. Without nothing meditation is that this is the best meditation. Your mind is not distracted by any at all. You are maintained meditate, but there's nothing to meditate on it. And it's like kind of there's undescribable things. Maybe this one is like we call the in the Sutta perspective non-characteristics of the karma body. And then maybe it's like a kind of there is the vipassana. Vipassana means it's like you have the clearly vision, the vision of the true nature of the realities. During the meditations, you perceive the form, perceive the sound, perceive the smell, everything, these five objects of the desirable. But when you perceive you can't think about something good or bad. You immediately have idea of the nature of the phenomena, true nature of phenomena. That is the spatial visions. You sometimes to perceive things, but sometimes you have idea enhanced by the like kind of the existence of the ego killings, or the no existence of the self, no existence of the substantially. And like this, that is like maybe more like a non-conceptualization, more is like kind of the nature reality. Maybe that is the more kind of the non-characteristics of the meditations. Maybe that is the really very important to maintain that. Otherwise, it's like kind of the meditative experience is very much changeable. And some in the beginners, when you meditate, you have some experience never taken care. Just be like this. If you believe, you clingy, you take serious, it's very dangerous. And also because this is impermanent. You know, it's like, what is the like a kind of the dangerous things? Some is a hallucination is occurring. If you take it really to taking care and to take the serious to, then you follow, maybe you die. It's something very dangerous things. There's one router, and he was in the solitude place, certainly, and the middle there, his wife has come back, and she says, why you stay there? Our children sick, you should to return right now. And he said, yeah, okay, I can come to, but I a little bit need to finish it, but how you came to here is a very high rocky mountain. And she says, like, okay, I'm just came because I need to this. And then how we can go work? So she said, no, I have horse for you. And say, okay, and then they drink tea something, and then it's a horse. And before he's riding the horse, that moment, like kind of pray, like Peerless, my teacher, what am I going on? What am I happening? Certainly, there's nothing, no here, his wife, no horse, but in the rock and almost jumping into the ocean or on the lake or the water. Like sometimes when we are touching the mind, there's such a movement. If you really to take serious, maybe I'm becoming enlightened. Maybe I'm something too much to take the serious. It is the dangerous. For example, when you meditate the karma body, non-characteristics, maybe something like this, then there's like three qualities is arise. It's like kind of the bliss, very much kind of the relaxation, happiness, bliss is arise. Maybe that moment, maybe you think I'm enlightenment. This is not very good desire. You just to nothing to kind of the concern them. And after maybe it's like a luminosity, clarity is coming. You can to see through the wall, and you can to see the miles. Maybe you can go through the rocks. Maybe you think I'm enlightenment. And maybe if you really to take under, beat the clingings, maybe it's also dangerous. Not very good, this kind of meditative experience. Maybe one day it's like absence of the thoughts, it's qualities. In like you meditate these non-characteristics of the Shinni karma body, and maybe you haven't got any thoughts. Wow, wonderful. I haven't got any negative thoughts. Maybe I'm an enlightened man. Maybe not. This is also impermanent and better to take care until everything is dissolved in the nature of the realities. At the time, the link between death and rebirth falls away, and you reach such confidence that you are completely ready for the death. If you do like this, meditate on the impermanent, doing some precise meditations, benefit for the death. At that time, everything is dissolved in the nature of the realities. Then is the link between death and the birth and the death. And then it's like aways, they go away at the reach the confidence they use. That moment is something is like a fear of the death. And this thinking of the death is slowly away, disappeared. Then you completely ready for that is like impermanent. Maybe your impermanent is like a kind of the way of the enlightenment, or way of the eating croissant, or way of the thinking. Okay, we can stop there.